Hey guys, so if you have seen the news lately, you will know that the iPhone SE2 are planned to be released in just a few days, if not sooner. Now, according to the reliable leaker John Prosser, the iPhone SE2 will be announced on April 15th, and it's going to start shipping on April 22nd for America people, of course. I'm not sure about other countries, but that's just what we know so far. Now, what's so special about this phone? Well, this is Apple's answer to the pandemic that we're in right now. It's an incredibly cheap option, just like the original iPhone SE. It has the form factor of the iPhone 8 and the chipsets of the iPhone 11 Pro. So it's an incredibly versatile and budget option. Now, the heavily rumored iPhone SE2 will be around $400 to $450. Now, why is it so cheap, you ask? Apple's literally recycling old parts from the iPhone 8. It's going to have wireless charging, the same set of features. The only thing that's different will be the back, because of the standard Apple logo, and the processor. It's going to feature the A13 Bionic, the same chip as the iPhone 11 Pro. This makes it so fast that you are going to be able to play Asphalt 9 on 60 FPS. No, I'm kidding. But it's actually going to be really fast. It's a great chip, and you might just be able to get night mode. Now, why should you care about this phone? Is that this phone gives you a whole year of free Apple TV Plus. That's pretty good, right? More seriously though, this phone is great for Apple. Because of the situation we're in right now, Apple stockholders are pretty not happy. And if Apple releases a new budget phone, they are going to sell it no matter what. We all know this by now. When they released the iPhone SE, when they released the iPhone XR, just every single time they release a budget phone, it sells phenomenally. So if they release this iPhone SE 2, the iPhone Special Edition 2, there's going to be a lot of sales, no matter what. And Apple stockholders would be pretty happy. Now, if you are thinking, so you're saying I shouldn't care about this phone. No. You should definitely care about this phone. There's definitely people who doesn't care about Face ID or the new flashy OLED screens. But what they do care about is the performance, the battery life, and just because they're the average consumers, they would care heavily about some basic features that you think are redundant. Quick thoughts. So some really big leakers have suggested that this phone might have a frosted back, although I think otherwise. Apple would really like to keep that an exclusive feature. Not only that, Apple created this frosted back for the premium iPhone 11 Pro, the iPhone that costs $1,000, and they called it the iPhone that's powerful enough to be called Pro, and it's the first one at that. They wouldn't just give an exclusive feature to a budget iPhone, in my opinion. So even if it's a iPhone SE, iPhone Special Edition, it's still not going to have the same treatment as the Pros, in my opinion. Now, something else to consider is that it's going to have an aluminum border rather than stainless steel like the more expensive phones. It's going to look like the iPhone 8, so that's something to consider. Now, finally, the battery life should be improved because of the newer chip. Now, finally, because of this phone is a midterm release, Apple would be hesitant to put some new features on it. Unlike the standard iPhones that come out every September, this is just a minor improvement, if that at best. What I feel like Apple would do is just call this a quick release, like the iPhone SE. If you guys still remember that, it came out with the iPhone 7 just a few months after that, just like this phone is going to be, and it was a hit. But would you be missing out if you got this phone instead of the newer September release that's going to come out in like around 6 months? Well, I don't think so, because this is, after all, a budget release. They're not going to put some cool features on it, so you shouldn't be expecting any cool features. The September release iPhones, however, are going to have Apple's flashiest new features. So if you are one of those techie people, I would heavily advise against this phone, despite how good it is. The processor, the price, everything, it's still not going to be in the best interest for you. So if you have the extra cash or you're heavily into tech, be sure to wait for the September released iPhones, the iPhone 12s, to come out. And there were some leaks suggesting that there will be a smaller version of the iPhone 12 being 5.4 inch. So it's going to have Face ID and everything, but it's going to be smaller. And that might be around $800. So that would be a cheaper option if you guys were looking for one. Other than that, this phone is a great phone for the average people. If you're not that much into tech and you don't care about the newest flashy features, then definitely go for this phone once it comes out. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. If you have any questions, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. And also, once the phone actually gets released, I'll be sure to make a bunch of videos for you guys explaining everything the phone has. And that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.